Come on, come on, come on. Come on, let's go. Come on, let's go.
Listen, I don't like Chris. I don't have to like him, but no one's out to hurt anybody here, you know. And it's a shame that he lives in that world of paranoia where he genuinely believes that anybody's out to get him, because nobody really is. And it's for his toenail. I couldn't care less about his toenail. Bro, I don't care. I mean, I'll cut some of mine off and give it to him if he wants.
Conor Benn is determined to make the second fight against Chris Eubank Jr. a completely different story.
Did I underestimate him? I did. I genuinely thought I'd knock him out 3-4 rounds on my heart. That's genuinely, well, Chris, shut up, mate. That's what I genuinely believed. So I underestimated him, but he gave me one hell of a fight, and it was one hell of a fight. And I'm excited for next time round.
The welterweight to middleweight contender has been preparing for a rematch that promises to deliver the same intensity as their first encounter, but with new adjustments designed to tilt the balance in his favor. The tension between the two fighters was palpable when they reunited at a press conference held at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, marking the first time they had shared the same space since their first showdown in April, which drew a sellout crowd of 70,000. That fight had already gone down as a candidate for Fight of the Year, with both men pushing themselves to the limit over 12 explosive rounds.
Can you give Eubank a message? You haven't come to each other yet.
I'm not doing this. Chris, I salute you, mate, and well done for winning the first fight. It takes two to tango. We both delivered. We both done what we needed to do, and I'm gonna iron you out second time round. I forgot this is live.
What a beautiful message, Gary, I think is what you said. What a beautiful message.
In April, Eubank Jr. claimed a unanimous decision victory in a contest that showcased the heart, skill, and raw determination of both fighters. The spectacle drew attention from boxing fans worldwide and highlighted the dramatic legacy of the rivalry between the Eubank and Benn families. During that fight, both fighters had the support of their fathers in the corner, Chris Eubank Sr. and Nigel Benn. Nigel Benn, present again for his son, was a living reminder of the historic feud between the two families dating back 30 years, when Eubank Sr. famously defeated Nigel in their first encounter.
Did Chris hurt you at all in that fight?
He hit me maybe I think it was around 9 or 10, hit me with a shot. They called it a good shot.
Right.
But it was one shot.
Headshot or body
shot?
Headshot.
One headshot.
And I felt like you hurt him several times throughout that fight.
3-4 times I could see. Where he then just stumbled in and done what he had to do. Yep. He used his weight wisely. I made mistakes in there with letting him push me back to the ropes, which I shouldn't have done.
But weren't you tired?
When I tired?
Weren't you tired? Yeah.
You look tired at times.
No,
I thought you were tired. I thought you were spent, and that's why.
No, I wasn't tired. I should have never let him push me back. It was a lot of leaning and a lot of smothering, and I should have used my boxing brain more instead of letting me get dragged into what he was doing.
Eubank Jr. has maintained a strong training setup for the rematch, reuniting with Brian Bomac McIntyre, renowned for guiding Terence Crawford to world titles. The British fighter has admitted that the overwhelming attention following their first fight caught him off guard. For years, Eubank Jr. had built a reputation as the villain in the sport, a fighter people love to hate. But the response from the public after facing Benn has been noticeably different. He has been approached not only by passionate boxing fans, but also by casual observers, ranging from young girls to elderly people and everyday spectators who simply appreciate his craft and wish him well. The experience has been humbling for him and seems to have shifted his perspective about his place in the sport and how he is viewed by the public. For the rematch, Eubank Jr. is confident that his approach will once again dominate the ring. He has framed the contest as a chess match between himself as the master matador and Benn as the charging bull. He expects the opening exchanges to quickly strip away any pre-planned strategy, as the fight will turn into an all-out action-packed spectacle the moment punches start landing. Eubank Jr. emphasizes that while technique and strategy are important, the real fight will showcase both fighters' instincts and willingness to engage. This sets the stage for another 12-round thriller where both fighters will leave everything in the ring.
Yeah. I have to. The guy went 12 rounds with me. He didn't give up. He didn't quit, like so many fighters have done over the past years. So in that sense, I have respect for him. Yeah.
Do you expect anything different in the rematch from him?
There better be something different, because if not, it's going to be the same outcome.
A big part of the first fight was obviously your dad having to enter in the arena to the shock of everyone. Is he involved in the rematch in some capacity? Will he be there on fight night, I guess?
He will be there. He will be there when it counts. In terms of my training and my camp, he's not been a part of that.
On the other side, Conor Benn is approaching the rematch with a singular focus: redemption. The first fight was a learning curve for him, exposing areas where discipline and emotional control were lacking. Benn acknowledges that stepping into the ring for the first time in 3 years and in a higher weight class presented challenges that went beyond physical preparation. He has spent the time since the initial bout refining his discipline, channeling his aggression strategically, and ensuring that his raw ferocity is complemented by more calculated decision-making. The goal is clear: to walk out of Tottenham Hotspur Stadium on November 15th as the victor.
For me, it's just a matter of doing what I know to do. Just fighting the way I know to fight, not trying to look at rendering him unconscious and having him face down. As much as that would be nice, that's not what.
Can't help myself. I know. You're trying to talk yourself into it and talk yourself right out of it.
The rematch comes with the same weight stipulations as the first fight, with both fighters contracted at 160 pounds and a 10-pound rehydration clause in place for morning after the weigh-in. Eubank Jr. previously struggled to make the contracted weight, coming in slightly over the limit and incurring a fine of £375,000. This led to a dispute over whether such a clause is appropriate, with his promoter Ben Shalom publicly criticizing it. Shalom argued that the rehydration restriction was unhealthy and unnecessary, citing examples such as Terence Crawford's victory over Canelo Alvarez, where no such clause existed despite Crawford jumping 2 weight classes for the fight. While the stipulations remain officially in place, there remains tension regarding their fairness and impact on the fighters' performances.
We aren't happy with the rehydration clause. Chris isn't committed to that rehydration clause again, as of yet. And the initial time it was put in front of us, it was an ultimatum. It was, the fight's not happening unless this. So Chris is in a difficult position then. Everything's been agreed. Everything. You're talking, we've gone through the contract, we've done every single clause. We get to the last moment. I think it was, if I remember, maybe just before the press conference or something, and then it was landed on us, an ultimatum like that. In the end, Chris is a money man and he accepted the challenge. Is it healthy? Is it right? Is it absolutely, should it be banned from boxing? Absolutely. Did Terence Crawford need a rehydration clause against Canelo? No, he didn't. And so I don't think it should not be used in this fight. Absolutely not. And people could say, oh, well, he missed the 160. He missed the 160 because of what was going on. And it was nothing to do with the weight, right? He missed it by half an ounce because of the timings and everything and the commotion that was going on in that weigh-in. And then he was given like 4 minutes to weigh in. It was one of the most ridiculous scenes I've had in boxing. The rehydration clause is what is a problem. And that is what should be not happening in this fight.
Promoters and analysts alike have weighed in on the upcoming clash. Eddie Hearn, representing Matchroom Boxing, confirmed that no renegotiation of the rehydration clause has been made. Meanwhile, Shalom maintains that Eubank Jr. should have flexibility due to the physical toll that making weight imposes. He has argued that the rule itself should be reconsidered, suggesting that it could be detrimental to the health of fighters and questioning whether it should be even allowed in modern boxing.
The terms are already agreed for the rematch with to move forward. And it's the same as the first contract in that respect. So I think we got it spot on with the numbers.
There were times when, I think Eubank would retire, but the first fight was incredibly physically taxing on both men. Both men ended up eventually that night in hospital, and Eubank was there for several days. And there was definitely a feeling of, are they going to want to run it back? I mean, the money's obviously huge, but do you want to go to those places again? And, I have to give, despite our differences, I have to give Junior respect, because he went to some deep places that night. Both of them did. And they're choosing to run it back and go to the same places where they will definitely be going in this fight. So You know, the first fight date, which was September 20th, didn't get off the ground because, you know, Eubank physically said he wasn't ready for that fight. So we're here now, November 15th, back at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and back for another thriller.
Veteran fighters and analysts have shared their perspectives on the likely outcome of the rematch. Carl Frog, who has trained with Eubank Jr. extensively and recently spoke to Ben, highlighted the physical advantages of Eubank Jr. in terms of size and strength. Frog pointed out that the Ben's previous performance was exceptional, considering the challenge of moving up 2 weight classes. He noted that Ben's experience and calculated adjustments could provide an edge in the rematch, but ultimately still sees Eubank Jr. as the favorite due to his size and technique. Frog believes the fight could be won if Ben times his attacks better and focuses on landing significant shots, but the betting line still leans toward the bigger fighter prevailing once more.
Conor Benn might be able to turn it around and change it. He might be able to box a bit calmly behind the jab, take his time a little bit more, and then maybe pick his shots a bit better and not rush things and walk into things, because he did hurt Eubank in round 3 in the first fight. Can he capitalise on that by being a bit cuter behind the jab and trying looking for a smart shot rather than trying to look for a wild shot by just forcing the pace and pressure against Eubank Jr. doesn't work. I know from sparring him, you put him under the cosh and he fires back. He fights fire with fire. He always has done, and he was able to finish stronger, which was, you know, plaudits to him. I was shocked by the fact that he could finish strong because he took this weight off and there was a rehydration clause. I believe he's doing the same weight, 160 pounds. That's what's agreed, and I also believe there's a rehydration clause as well, so he won't be able to go over, is it 9 or 10 pounds the next day, which is going to be difficult. But he signed a contract, he's getting paid well. It is what it is. We'll have to wait and see what happens November 15th. Like I said, not much to report. They've kind of been there, seen it, done it. We know who's won. I'd say Eubank Jr. is still the favourite going into this one, as he was in the first one, but he's a bit older, a bit more worn out from that first fight, and he's still got to make weight, still got to do the rehydration clause, so things could change. But yeah, me for one, I'm looking forward to see these two go at it again. I'm going to go there and sit and watch it live this time instead of watching it on TV, which is always good, get involved in the atmosphere.
Roy Jones Jr., who has also trained Eubank Jr., offered a perspective that balanced size with skill. Jones suggested that while Eubank Jr. may have the physical advantage, Ben has learned valuable lessons from their first encounter. He emphasized that both fighters will be coming in stronger, hungrier, and with tactical adjustments, making the rematch potentially even more competitive than their initial meeting. He said Eubank should win because he's the bigger fighter, but it'll be tough. Conor will make adjustments, smart ones, and make it a much better fight. It's all good, but Chris should win again because of the size. But it'll be just as competitive as the first one. Both will make adjustments and come back better. The difference is, you might get a knockout this time because both will be at each other even harder. Both felt they did well the first time, so they'll come back stronger and hungrier, and the bigger guy should win. But anything can happen. George Grooves, a former opponent of Eubank Jr., leans toward Ben in his assessment of the upcoming fight. He highlighted that the first bout was extremely close and dramatic, resembling a Hollywood-level spectacle. Grooves argued that Ben's growth and the lessons he gained from his first fight could tip the scales in his favor this time. He noted that Eubank Jr.'s options post-Ben are limited, as opportunities for high-profile fights against fighters like Canelo Alvarez or competing for middleweight belts appear less realistic.
One different caveat, if you like, to this is Bomac is back.
Yes.
Which is interesting.
That is interesting. Now, he gave credit to Jonathan Banks for last time, but Bomac is different. He is different.
Different gravy.
I mean, the best we ever seen Chris Eubank Jr., in my opinion, was the Liam Smith rematch.
Yeah.
Bomac training him. Did you hear what Bomac said? This would send shivers down my spine when he goes, oh yeah, I had a look at that fight. Oh, there's a lot I can work with. You're like, if you're Conor Benn, you're thinking, sitting there going, oh shit.
Yeah. I would love Chris to put the ego away and get to America and let Bomac train you over there.
Oh, that'd be the...
You want to be in that gym. You want to be surrounding those little killers and sparring those guys, right? You want to be sparring those smaller guys who are like as fast as Conor and nippy as Conor. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and they will. And he'd probably, listen...
He'll get lit up by some of them. He'll get lit up by some of them.
But believe me, it's going to pay you dividends.
Dave Allen also provided his insight favoring Ben due to a combination of confidence, experience, and physical factors. Allen pointed out that Eubank Jr. faces challenges related to making weight again and adhering to the rehydration clause. coupled with the wear and tear of age. Benn's advantage, he argued, lies in his understanding of Eubank Jr.'s style, gained from a surviving grueling 12 rounds in April. Ellen believes that Benn's self-assurance coupled with his adjustments could allow him to reverse the result and claim victory.
If I had to put my neck on the line, which is what this video is about, at this stage, I'm going to go for a Conor Benn win. And my old man will definitely disagree. My old man will say Eubank is still going to be too big. It's still going to be too good. I just think a combination of Eubank having to make the weight again, because I think he struggles no matter what anyone says. He definitely struggles to make middleweight. The rehydration clause, maybe it's not big as an issue as people say it is. It still is an issue. And that coincided with he's not getting any younger, and that was a really hard fight, along with the fact that that will probably do Conor Benn some good. A bit more experience, he's been there now, he knows he can bother Eubank, he knows he can hurt him. I want to go for a Conor Benn win.
Liam Smith, another former opponent of Eubank Jr., edged slightly toward Benn as well. Smith praised Benn's performance in their first meeting and acknowledged that Eubank Jr. was at his best in April. However, Smith noted that Eubank Jr. may struggle to further improve, while Benn has the potential to return as a stronger and more refined fighter. According to Smith, Benn's familiarity with the intensity and pace of Eubank Jr.'s style gives him a credible chance to turn the tables in the rematch.
Big rematch, Benn and your old foe, Eubank Jr. How did you see that one playing out?
You know what, watching the first fight was a great fight, better fight than I expected.
Yeah.
But I kind of thought, I think Eubank's one fight away from being done. I thought his balance was shot to bits. I've seen him sparring and knee pads on and stuff. But I just thought, wow, you're one fight away from being done. I think the rematch is a good fight, probably a better fight than I first predicted, if that makes sense. And I think Conor's got even more of a chance in the rematch.
As the date approaches, both fighters are focused on preparation, discipline, and strategy. Eubank Jr. seeks to assert his dominance again, relying on his size, skill, and experience, while Benn aims to demonstrate the lessons he has learned and showcase a more disciplined, calculated version of himself. The backdrop of historical rivalry, personal stakes, and strategic evolution makes this rematch one of the most eagerly awaited bouts in modern British boxing. With Tottenham Hotspur Stadium as the stage and the date set for November 15th, both fighters have the opportunity to deliver an unforgettable spectacle.